straightforward. So when a person is straightforward, it says of a person, they're honest and frank. And then the synonyms would be honest, frank, candid, open, truthful, sincere. And I don't know what could be more attractive than somebody who's open and honest with you.
Straightforward.
Fishbowl Radio Network, FBRN.US. It is 3 o'clock Central Standard Time on a Thursday, so it can mean only one thing. You're now logged on the Straightforward Strip. I have an awesome in-studio guest today, and we're going to go ahead and get to that. But first, I want to go ahead and get this off my chest and keep it straightforward with you. The situation with the Amber Guyger trial that happened in Dallas, I kind of feel like, one, Christianity is a hell of a drug. Hell of a drug. Christianity is a hell of a drug. Two, I kind of feel like we, as a people, definitely upheld a message that Brotha John's brother sent to the world with his gesture, with his hug. I kind of feel there's a lot of people saying, oh, he needed to do that to grieve, he needed to do that to forgive, he needed to do that to move on. It's what Botham would have wanted. First of all, Botham John was murdered.
So we don't know what he would have wanted. How can we say what Botham John would have wanted? Because he was murdered in his own home, sitting on his couch, eating ice cream, watching TV, where he should have been safe to do that. I kind of feel like with Botham John's brother going down and hugging Amber Guyger, it sent a message and set the tone saying, hey, no matter what you do to us, you can kill us, you can rape us, you can slaughter us, you can still continue to treat us as chattel slavery, and it's all good. We're still going to give you a big hug. Come here, we love you, it's okay. And to even say, I wish you don't even go to jail. What? They already don't go to jail for everything they do. Why is it always on us as black folks to be the ones to have to forgive and have to move on? That's that slave mindset that I was talking about. There was a lot of backlash I got whenever I said that is a slave mindset, but I want you to know, people is like, oh, it's the Christian thing to do. It's the Christian thing to do. First of all, Christianity was made for slavery. And, you know, we can go in all technicalities like, no, it was brought by the Roman Church, Jews this, Israel that, Hebrew this and that. But at the end of the day, this was a tool used to keep slaves in order, keep them in line. They even have verses in there, obey your masters. Who do you think benefited that from the most whenever, you know, they were coming up in America during the slave times? That was a trick to make it seem as though anything they do is okay. Because in order to get to heaven, in order to be loved by God, we have to allow these terrible atrocities to keep happening to us. That's stupid and ridiculous. There are multiple ways he could have found forgiveness and grieved and did all this and that without sending that message saying, hey, you killed my brother. You murdered my brother in his home. But it's okay. I love you. I want you to have a happy life. That's stupid. That is ridiculous. Somebody else on Facebook was like, oh, it was a loss for both families. I got one question. What did Amber Guyger's family lose? What did they lose? Her mom took the stand. She can still talk to her kid. She can still call Amber, you know, well, I guess not for the next 10 years, but after that, she can still call Amber. They can still have Sunday hangouts and everything. Botham John's father, who said every Sunday he looked forward to his son calling him after church, catching up throughout the week and everything, he can't do that anymore. So for you to say both families lost, that's inhumane, that's insensitive, that lacks empathy and common sense. Don't be an idiot. Stop doing this turn the other cheek thing. That's why we're in this situation now. That's why the Amber Guyger conviction is only the 4th conviction since the 70s. And I think they said it was the first one in the city of Dallas. Now, given, you know, Roy Oliver, the cop who shot and killed, who murdered Jordan Edwards, he got 15 years. But then we look at the case of Officer Noor Muhammad, the Somali American cop in Minnesota who responded to a disturbance call. You know, this white lady from Australia called and said there might be a sexual assault going on in the back of my house. They pull her to the back of the house. She jumps out of the dark from nowhere. She obviously did something to spook this cop because he feared for his life as well. He said he feared for his life, and in order to protect himself and his partner who was in the car as well, he shot and killed the white lady from Australia. He just got 12 and a half years. And I wanted to bring that up because a lot of my black people, a lot of you watching this right now, are like, let's forgive him. Let's forgive him. It's all about forgiveness, this and that. No, we cannot forgive him because whenever Officer Noor Muhammad, the Somali American cop, shot and killed that white lady from Australia, and her parents and loved ones took the stand, this is what her father said: I will never be whole. I ask that this convicted murderer be given the maximum sentence for the crime of killing my daughter. Now, whenever we have that same attitude, we're seen as irate, dangerous, criminal activity animals. That's stupid and ridiculous. We gotta recognize and understand that this is all a trick, all the negative stigma, this whole narrative placed on us that if we are anything but conforming, we're violent, we're dangerous, we're lazy, we're dirty, we're just unpredictable animals. And I'm here to tell you that's BS, that's stupid. We can grieve how white people grieve whenever one of us kills one of them. So why, when one of them kills one of us, all of us want to hold hands and sing Kumbaya? That's that slave mindset. That's my only answer. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into the show. You're logged on to Straightforward with Strip. I'm in the studio right now. You've seen them in the news. You've seen them on the headlines. If you haven't been living under a rock and you know the know, and you know what's going on with our culture and the black community. You know of this man, Brotha SHAWT.
Hey, man, say, man, what's going on, baby?
Man, what is poppin', Brotha SHAWT, man?
Man, ain't too much, man. I'm really glad to be on the show. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you invited me. You know what I'm saying? I'm so glad that I'm not in jail. You know what I'm saying? All that, because we had protested last night. You know what I'm saying? It went down last night due to them only giving Amber Guyger about 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So we were still frustrated and trying to, you know, find a means to release that energy. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, straight up, man. And I was just saying, you've been in the news and the headlines a lot, you know, and you even are part of this group called the Dallas 9.
Hey, man.
The Dallas 9.
Say, man.
Where did that name come from?
Really, that name came from the community, like, you know what I'm saying? I was locked up, man. I didn't know when I was going to come home. I didn't know we was getting all that love, you know, out here in the streets. And I didn't know we was the Dallas 9 until I got out, you know what I'm saying? And some of that stuff kind of died down. But, yeah, it's from my understanding, man, the, you know, the Facebook or Twitter or whatever, you know, how social media do. They pretty much gave us that name, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's real. That's
and then
real,
it
man.
was 9 of us who got arrested. You know what I'm saying? There was more of us protesting, but you know, the 9 was the ones who got arrested for it. So.
Yeah, man. And so you're out there protesting, and again, what were you protesting for?
Man, specifically for the deaths of Brotha SHAWT and O'Shea Terry by the hands of Dallas Police Department and Arlington Police Department.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people ain't too familiar with O'Shea Terry, you know what I'm saying? Brotha SHAWT went national, international, you know, with him being from St. Lucia, from, you know, all the way out there. And so, like, the world was watching that. But O'Shea Terry, on the other hand, that didn't really get a lot of media attention, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
O'Shea, he was a cool brother, you know what I'm saying? I've actually, since then, met people that knew him, say he was real down to earth, real cool, you know what I'm saying, about his business and all that. But, you know, one day, an officer by the name of Tran, you know what I'm saying? He one day, man, he stopped the brother, was antagonizing him. If y'all seen the footage, you know what I'm saying, then which caused him to jump on the brother's car and, you know, start shooting him or whatever. And it made his car go. He put his foot on the gas, you know, because he was there, you feel me? And then, boom, drove off, and, you know, the officer kept shooting, man.
Yeah. Like, completely broke procedure and protocol. I don't think anywhere in the police academy it says if a cop is if a suspect or a person you pulled over is about to drive off, jump on the side of their car, hang on their window like a madman, and shoot into the car.
And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of people should have brought more attention to that, because a lot of people think it's a black versus white versus black thing. But white people aren't the only ones that have this hate for black people. It's Asians, it's Hispanics.
Tran was Asian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tran, the officer that killed, the officer that worked at Arlington Police Department that killed O'Shea Terry, an innocent brother, was an Asian. Okay, and we ain't gonna just say like, Asians don't like her, but at the same time, you know, these people that get on the police force, man, it's something about their energy, their attitude, and they swag to where they seem like they above and better than the citizens.
Yeah, they get that bravado. They're like, man, I got a badge on, I can do what I want.
Exactly.
And history will show you that they can do what they want. I saw something on social media, and it kind of made me want to bring it up. And it's basically, somebody said, black people have forgiveness in their hearts for everybody but other black people.
Ooh, say that.
Why do you think that is, though? Like, we're the only ones here for each other, obviously.
Hey.
But you know, we're so easy to be like, it's okay. Even the church shooting, Dylan Roof, whenever he went in that church and shot all those people, before he got sentenced, the relatives of those victims who he murdered in that church were like, oh, Dylan, I forgive you.
Oh, for real?
It's okay. I hope you don't go to jail, man. I just want you to be forgiven, and I want you to know that we're still happy.
See, I missed that, bro. I ain't even know that.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, like, how can we complain about slavery? How can we complain about racism? How How can we demand reparations when really we're saying it's okay? Like, if you have a kid and you tell them, hey, don't break that glass, and they break it anyways, and you're like, hey, you broke that glass, but hey, I'm happy for you. Do you think that kid is going to stop breaking glass?
Nah.
So we got to use common sense. We're all adults here. We're all logical thinkers, hopefully. We saw the text messages and messages from Amber Guyger to her other police colleagues.
Right.
And that's something that worries me as well, that it seems like people glossed over that and didn't take it as seriously as they should have.
Right.
She was working the MLK event with no regard to black lives. That's dangerous. And on this show, I also want to call for the firing of Mike Mata.
Say that, man.
Mike
we
Mata.
coming for you next. You was a accomplice in this cover up in this murder of Botham Jean, man. You helped cover this situation up, so we coming for your ass.
That's
man.
what I'm saying. So why is that so hard to grasp as well? Why is he still on the police department? I don't even think the Dallas Police Department has said anything about it
I think
either.
he's the director of the DPA.
I know he's the president of the association.
Okay.
And one of my first beefs I had with him was shortly after Chief Renee Hall, a black woman, got into office, Dallas seen this spike in homicides.
Right.
And this man, Mike Mata, had the audacity to try to rally all the Hispanic cops and some black cops to call for Chief Renee Hall to resign, as if the spike in murders was her fault for some reason. So one, that's cause for a hostile work environment. That's a terminable offense. That's a firing offense in any other profession. And then, as Amber Guyger shot and killed somebody, she's on the scene as a suspect. So for you to go in and accomplish her, to bring her to the squad car, shut the audio off, shut the video off, and coach her, I kind of feel like that's an accomplice to murder, right?
Yeah, it is.
Like, if I were to go shoot and kill somebody and then you came and helped me cover it up, they'd come after you too, would you think?
What? That had my neck, boy.
Man, so this whole thing is bogus. Dallas Police Department, you have really shown your racism. You have really shown your true colors. You have really shown your idiocracy in dealing with the public and the community. And the whole serve and protect thing. Like, there's no telling what else Mike Mata has done, being a crooked cop, to help cover up for other crooked cops.
Right.
This is dangerous, yo. You have this madman running around the city covering for cops when they do wrongdoings.
Right.
Against the community they're supposed to protect.
Hey, you know, that's nothing new. This has been going on since the inception of the police institution. You know what I'm saying? So it's, you know, they pledge to a fraternal order, and what they doing is they basically saying that, man, it's us against y'all. And so when you go and read these police's Instagram or they Facebook or they Pinterest, they have a lot of pro police and anti-civilian you know, memes on their stuff. So it's just showing you the mentality of these people. And people say we need reform, we need to change the targets, that the targets that they shoot are black, and that makes them want to shoot black people. I really disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? Wholeheartedly. I feel like if there is something in the culture of people who want to be police, it's something in a mentality that just says, you know, the cool kids in school, they not saying, nigga, I want to be a police. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. It's usually kind of the other squad. You know what I'm saying?
The victims of bullying.
Victims of bullying.
They were spoiled affluenza kids who got bullied and who happened to get good enough grades to get entered into the police academy.
Okay.
And I feel like we're ignorant to that as well. There are a lot of people, bad people, who are cops now. And it's like, I don't want to say that you becoming a cop, you're automatically bad, because I have seen some cops save lives. But at the same time, it's one of those things, if we know where the police force originated from, if we know what it stands for, and if we know what it's used for, you, especially being a black man wanting to be a cop, that kind of says something about your character.
It says a lot about your character.
Yeah. How do you feel about black cops?
Man, when I say, like, now I'm going to be honest, you know what I'm saying? So I don't fuck with the police, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to say that on, you know, the record, but at the same time, you know, I'm mature enough to understand that everybody as an individual, you know what I'm saying, they might not be corrupt or whatever. They might not be bad. They might not be trying to, you know, fulfill that message. But you have signed and pledged yourself to an entity and an institution that is older than you, that is longer than you, and that don't give a fuck about you nor your people. You know what I'm saying? So when you make that pledge, I feel like personally, you pledging to be against your people. You know what I'm saying? So when we were protesting, I can't tell you how many black officers were out there. Female, women officers, black male officers. officers that was actually arguing with us, saying stuff like, oh, well, y'all don't mobilize like this when we kill each other, but when it's a cop kill, then y'all do this. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, for that to come out of black man's mouth and him understanding the situation, that just shows me your character, where your heart is, and where your allegiance is ultimately. So that's how I feel about black police officers. And then so what we do, how we address black on black violence or fratricide, we patrol our neighborhood. We patrol in Highland Hills every night.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you were on the news, you know, for you and a couple other your comrades patrolling. How did that come about, and what's going on with that right now?
Man, so look, we do that every night, no fail. You know what I'm saying? Even after we was out there protesting yesterday for hours, we still had to go back to our neighborhood and make sure the flavor was good. You know what I'm saying? Everything was cool. And unfortunately, there was a gunshot. You know what I'm saying? But so we had to address that. You feel me? So, but anyways, like with that, it's like, we moved into one of the most dangerous apartment complexes in the city. You know what I'm talking about? In a matter of 2 weeks, man, we stopped all the shooting in the air, all the violence and stuff like that. In a matter of 4 weeks, we stopped all the robberies and all that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? And we've even been shot at, bro, but we ain't let off no shot. So what we were able to do, we were able to go to a highly volatile neighborhood, which we have we should be fearing for our life, you understand me?
Yeah.
But we ain't killed nobody. Even when the young brother shot at us, we ain't killed him, you know what I'm saying? So we was able to do, without the police training, without the academy training, still go into our neighborhoods and change the climate, change the atmosphere.
And so while you're out there with, you know what I'm saying, with your other comrades and everything, and you're patrolling your own communities, your own apartment complex, your own neighborhoods, you said somebody shot at y'all. Yeah. And it was somebody that most likely looked like us.
Oh, right?
What do you think that was for? Like, what was it for? Do you know who it was, too?
Yeah. It's a young cat. He's still over there now. He over there right now. But, like, so in Highland Hills, man, we dealing with, and I know it's Dallas and other cities, too, but Highland Hill, we dealing with a homeless issue. It's a homeless epidemic. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about from the youth, age 13, 17, 18, and older, they homeless, you know what I'm saying? But these cats still find access to guns, you know what I'm saying? So the cat that shot at us, just a little background, you know, the youth, they also be on drugs, so they be young dope fiends or whatever, and somebody stole a very small amount of weed from him. He gone off these fake handlebars that's going around, and he starts letting his frustration off by shooting in the air. Conrad Marcus X say, hey, bro, you can't do that. We're not having that around here. You know, he kind of changed his position, and then we holler at him again. Hey, bro, we ain't gonna call the laws, but you gotta take that shit out somewhere else. That's when he decide, oh, y'all gonna call the laws? Oh, okay, boom, 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 2 guns. You know what I'm talking about? Shooting, it's me, my Conrad, Marcus X, and Yafeo Balagon. Pop, 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 pop. He walking towards us and shit. So we take cover, you know what I'm saying? Man, it's women and children. We got a program over there with women trying to get off of drugs. It's women and children trying to go in their program, go in the house, but they ducking. They got their kids out there, you know what I'm saying? So we go back, we go save them, make sure they straight, and then we go address bro. I didn't know. We ain't know, but bro ran out of bullets. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
Yeah, so bro
So he's firing at y'all because he thought y'all were going to call the cops because he was firing his gun in the air.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like it almost sounds like a mental case. And I always try to be one of those people that advocate for our community because we already have so much going against us. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I never want to be one of those people who, like, go against us and try to contribute to that narrative. Like, yeah, black people are crazy. Right. Black people are violent, this and that. But it kind of seems like, man, we got to get our ish together. Y'all are out here doing good for the community. You're helping women and children do better for their lives. You're protecting the people that live in these areas, in these neighborhoods, who have to fear while they're in their own home.
Say that.
And then you have one of our own coming and shooting at y'all. Right. And the only reason he stopped is because he ran out of bullets?
That's it. Straight like that, you know what I'm saying? And I think you hit it on a nail. It's a mental issue, you know what I'm saying? It's a mental issue, or mental illness is real in the black community, you understand me? Even with our youth, you know what I'm saying? These they homeless, and then we deal with homelessness, man. That's very depressing on its own. You know what I'm saying? I know different people handle they mental situations different, but bro, you know what I'm saying, clearly display how he lets out his anger, how he deals with his personal situation. He showed us, you know what I'm saying?
Dang, man. So what do you think? Because I see you're just one man, and there's a group of you, you mentioned Balagoon.
Yeah.
They're affiliated with Gorilla Mainframe,
Yeah.
right? Are you part of GMF or Gorilla Mainframe?
Of course. Gorilla Mainframe, you know what I'm saying? I joined around 2016, you know what I'm saying? Well, actually, when I first kind of came around the movement, that was the organization that brought me into this culture, to this lifestyle.
Yeah, and I want you to speak on basically what Gorilla Mainframe is, like your take on Gorilla Mainframe, because a lot of people around here aren't familiar with GMF,
Right.
but y'all have been in the news, y'all have been in magazines, on TV shows. There's even other corporations and companies I saw making documentaries,
Right.
using clips from y'all's documentaries and your programs and the different activities that y'all got going on in your neighborhood and everything. So how did GMF come about?
Well, actually, man, there's some other brothers that'll definitely give you the history a lot more concise than I can, but I know the other brothers, they started around 2008. You know what I'm saying? Yafeo Balagoon, Eric Chairman, and then Rakim Balagoon eventually came around. And I want to say free the chief, free Rakim Balagoon. You know what I'm saying? That brother needs our support. He was the first black identity extremist, the person to be locked up under that false pretense. You know what I'm saying? Our comrade is back incarcerated, and he needs our support. You know what I'm saying? And that was actually the brother who introduced me to GMF. You know what I'm saying? I had a show, I had a performance, rocked the show, you know what I'm saying, rocked the stage, and then Rakim came up to me. It's like, hey, bro, I like you to, he felt my energy, he liked me to be a part of what they got going. And then so what they was doing was the GMAP, the workout program. They came around and started working out, getting right, and through that we also had different activist situations where the KKK came to South Dallas, tried to intimidate our brothers at the Nation of Islam at the Mosque 44. Yeah. And we had over 50 people strapped, and it was no arguments, it was none of that. We really handled that well, and they didn't come back. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But GMF is a small group of people who want to see change in their community, but we're also guerrillas. We're revolutionaries. We study revolutionary theology, and we political education is the center stone of a guerrilla. You have to be politically educated, and that kind of what separates us from just activists, because a lot of activists, they're reactionary, you know what I'm saying, and they respond.
Like they wait for something to happen, and then they bring out the bullhorns and start screaming and shouting about it.
Yeah.
But you all actually have some like action plans in place, because I was one of them people like, man, F voting, I don't vote, voting don't matter.
Yeah.
It's them versus us. We can't do anything about it. Whoop de woo.
Yeah.
But then I kind of got hip to the game and learned, man, it's all a system, and just like a system in a game, there's rules to it, and there's winners and losers. So you got to learn how to play the game to win.
Yeah.
So do you vote?
Man, so look, the first time I voted in my life, I voted for myself, you know what I'm saying? I ran for Dallas City Council, District 3, you know what I'm talking about, back in May 4th, you know what I'm saying? Campaign strong, I was 25, I was the youngest in the city to get up on that ballot, you understand me? Unfortunately, I ain't win this time, but I did vote for myself, and I chose to run because, like, I was the same way. I was like, man, this voting shit, this shit don't work, this shit don't mean nothing, it's fake, woo-de-woo, but I got an experience from the inside, you know what I'm saying? That from the inside, I'm seeing that, damn, this shit do work, especially on the local level, though. You know what I'm saying? On the local level, man, these elected officials are dealing with millions and billions of dollars. So the budget for Dallas, I think right now is like $3.8 billion or something, and 60% of that is going to the police. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
it's more than half the budget going to the police.
And that's why I try and stress people to get more involved in this stuff, because they are given this lump sum of money, and then they're like, oh, we the community in the city, let's vote on how we're gonna spend this money.
Right.
So if we the community aren't showing up, we're not letting our voice be heard where we think the money should be spent.
Right. And then really the community, the voters, is their boss. So if people don't go to the city hall, if you don't go to the town halls, if you don't go to these meetings, then they don't got no boss. You know what I'm saying? You ain't hold them accountable. But the other flip side of that is they, the city knows what they doing. They moved the city council meetings to 9 a.m. in the morning on Wednesdays or whatever, Tuesdays. So
like work days when nobody can make it. Same when they stole $50 million from the citizens of Arlington to build Texas Live.
Straight up.
Yeah, because they held a vote on it. Like, we got $50 million from the citizens. It's supposed to go to them to lower their property taxes and kind of go back into the refurbishing of the infrastructure of the city. But nah, they not gonna show up and say we can't spend the money, so let's spend it how we want to.
Yeah.
So
cold.
for somebody sitting here thinking like, man, I want to get more involved, I want to run for city council, but I don't know where to go, what to do.
Yeah.
What would you tell them?
Hey man, I'm gonna say, if you want to know how to run for office, first you contact your city secretary. If you don't know her number, you Google it. You know what I'm saying? Go to Dallas city secretary or whatever city you in. Find out your city secretary and then get your petition for ballot. Or you can go to the election office. You know what I'm saying? But definitely the city secretary is gonna be able to inform you on everything. But in Dallas, what it took was to get my petition for ballot, which was free, and then 25 signatures. All it took was 25 signatures, and I was on the ballot. And that right there is an accomplishment on its own. You know what I'm saying? Just to be on the ballot, to see your name on that thing. But going even further, just, spreading your word, your campaign, and letting people know what you about and what your platform is. That's how you get solid with that.
And you said you are a citizen of Highland Hills.
Yes, sir. I'm a resident.
So you running for, you on the campaign, running to be elected as a city council. What do you feel like the issues are in Dallas, and what would you do to combat them?
Hey man, he took it back to them campaign day. But look, so the reality is, man, like we need skill acquisition. You know what I'm saying? We gotta address poverty, but we can do that in multiple ways. And it's about getting access to skills, access to quality education, affordable education. But even beyond that, our kids need something to do to when they go outside their home. So just take my neighborhood. If you go outside your apartment complex and you look around, there's literally nowhere you can put a job application in. There's no vocational training centers around. So what I would do, I'll be putting money into that. You know what I'm saying? I'll be putting money into homelessness, activities for the youth, and people that really want to change their life around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And which they not doing that. What they doing is they're criminalizing the youth. They passed a juvenile curfew ordinance earlier this year, which criminalizes youth from being outside past 11 p.m. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So opposed to getting our kids a YMCA or teaching them how to do radio and broadcasting,
and
or
be
something
resourceful.
Like that. Yeah, what they're doing instead is find out how they can get paid and compensated off of locking our kids up.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Kind of like the school to prison pipeline.
Now, that's
as well.
exactly what it
and,
is.
a lot of people try to debate me and argue with me saying that's false. But if you look at the stats, it actually shows that children of color are 3.6 times more likely to get suspended or expelled from school for the same infraction that a white kid did.
You know what they did in 1955? What they did is, after that Brown versus Board and all that, what they did was created the standardized test. You know what I'm saying? They create the standardized testing to lower the acceptance rate, or lower the amount of black people that enter they institution. And I think this was started with like UT. You understand me? This was started in Texas. But what they did was they implemented standardized testing to prevent black people from attending these institutions. And furthermore, they took you remember when we was taking tax tests and TOS tests in the third grade?
Tax test.
They used those scores to determine how many prisons they was going to build when we got about this age.
And I seen that, and you can Google it and look it up. If you haven't heard about this, they take the results from these test scores starting from third grade. So if you have kids, if they're in third grade, depending on their test scores, lets the state know how many beds they can put in the next for-profit prison.
Right.
So that can kind of show you right there. And I seen something in the news. I got to look more into it, but they're kind of trying to do something to do away with for-profit prisons and private institutions.
I seen they did it in Colorado. I had through an event with Texas Working Families. We partnered on an event. We had Julian Castro. He was a presidential candidate. He's running for president right now. We brought him to South Dallas. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. Right there on 42nd. You know what I'm saying? Like right in the middle of the hood or whatever. But I asked him. I was like, I asked him like two questions. I was like, hey, so what would you be considering ending the for-profit prisons, you know what I'm saying? Or at least, lowering the number of them, you know what I'm saying? And it hit him. He ain't never heard nothing like that. He was like, that's a good question. But he went back to his platform. Yeah. His platform ain't have nothing for that. But he did say that be serious that these institutions were made against black people. You know what I'm saying? And this is a Hispanic dude that's running for president who just gave him the facts. Like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, these institutions were made against y'all. You feel me? So, but even for a private prison to be, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, y'all know what capitalism is about. You know what I'm saying? If y'all understand capitalism, nothing is sacred. They will make money off of any and everything, even if that's placentas. You know what I'm saying? Embryos and placentas. So they will find a way to make money off of any and everything.
I even feel that way towards, and I know this is probably ruffle some feathers, but I kind of feel that way about the LGBTQ community and that whole agenda. I kind of feel like it wasn't a thing until people found out they can profit from it. So now, I don't know if you noticed, but it's like a trend now. You know, it's on our TVs, in our movies, in our songs, fashion lines, commercials, all that. So I kind of feel like even people part of that community should kind of realize and step up and be like, yo, you're not going to profit off of us and make money off of us. And speaking of the LGBT community, because I saw somebody else say something about this, which is true. It seems like we as black people are more forgiving of our oppressors rather than if we have a brother or sister that's gay.
Damn.
Yeah, have you seen something like that? Like, it seems like like, if, you know, I wasn't raised in a family like that, and I don't know if I have a relative that's homosexual or not, but I am raised in a family where I feel like we wouldn't outcast them or blackball them or, you know, send them astray. But I have seen a lot of families and a lot of relatives, and I know some people who's like, yeah, man, I found out my brother is gay, man, F him, you know, he can go die.
Damn.
So it's like, why are we so violent against each other, and why are we so forgiving against those that slaughter us and treat us as if we're still chattel slavery?
Right. So I think, you know, we kind of generalize, and I feel like don't every black person think like that. But we're not gonna act like that community is not a marginalized community. You know what I'm saying? And we can definitely say within the black family, that community, in a large regard, is ostracized, even within their own family. You know what I'm saying? But we got present day, like a lot of people is very accepting of homosexuals and them in their own. In their own family, you know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily know where it comes from. It might come from religion, or it might just come from propaganda. But my take on that is just like what you said. I feel like what they doing is now, people will say there's not a LGBT agenda, there's no gay agenda, that's not real. I think there definitely is, you know what I'm saying? I ain't going to go too deep into that, but I do feel like a major piece, a major component is to create a new market for them to market to, you know what I'm saying? So you got these whole groups of people, you know what I'm saying, who say, I'm this. Now we need paraphernalia, we need contraband, we need items, we need to give these people an identity. Okay, well, they're going to purchase for them, they have to purchase that identity. So when you have an identity, when you say you this, now you gotta have to buy stuff to basically to let people know that you identify as this. Just like if you're a Cowboys fan, you're gonna buy the Cowboys gear. So you are now another market people can market to. So I feel like this LGBTQ situation is another market that they've created to finance, get money out of, but at the same time, or capitalize off of, but at the same time, impressionable minds are being influenced by this. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely think there's a gay agenda. It might not be a cohesive agenda. Like, everybody in that community might not agree on everything, but at the same time, man, like, you don't see super strong black men that are Afrocentric black men on these TV shows, on these networks. I just went to New York a couple months ago. I was staying in Times Square. When I tell you everything was LGBT, that rainbow from all the big ass lights and signs in the stores, from Versace to T-Mobile to DNKY or whatever, everything had some LGBTQ shit on it. You know what I'm saying? And just thinking, like, I don't want my child to be like, what's this? Is this cool? You know what I'm saying? But I don't think I'm gonna just throw my child away at the same time.
Because now they really do have like 6, 7, 8-year-olds. Like, man, am I weird? I think I like boys now. Like, I'm a boy.
Nigga,
I like boys now.
Excuse my language, but they got whole drag queens. They got 8-year-old drag queens
reading books and stuff.
Books,
having story time,
and doing dances in front of people. You were sexualizing these kids, and my thing with this is, why are we creating and marketing or promoting a movement that deals with who you have sex with? That's my thing. Why is we having a movement about sex? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I feel like people can keep their orientation to themselves. It don't got to be a movement about, oh, I choose to have sex with this. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You can still do your thing. You know what I'm talking about? Because we ain't going, you know what I'm saying? It don't matter. But as far as promoting, I have sex with this. You know what I'm saying? I don't really think.
Same with the Brian Russell dude. He's this dude. He's a football player. Used to play for the Cowboys. He's a free agent now, and he just came out in the interview. Was like, "Hey, I just want to let y'all know I'm bisexual."
Wow.
And my thing, I'm like, why? But I kind of look at it like he did that with evil intent because he's a free agent now. So if he doesn't get picked up on a team, he's going to use that as some type of ammo like, oh, they didn't pick me up because I said I was gay. We got to, like, first of all, like, if we want change, we got to stop inflicting that stuff on us.
Yeah.
Like, you made yourself a spectacle, you know what I'm saying? So now if people
say that,
so if people use that same energy again, use your own words against you, it's like you're like, oh, woe is me. It's like we didn't care, we didn't know, we didn't care to know until you said something about it.
Right. And I agree with that. And same thing, somebody asked me, they was pressing me about Lil Nas X. You know what I'm saying? I was saying, oh, he was potentially a industry plant to possibly further the LGBTQ agenda. You know what I'm saying? Or gay agenda, which even my close comrades disagree with me on that. But still, I'm like, so when we listen to music or content or media, where do we listen to it? How does that get introduced to us? And how does it get? How do we know that it's popular? You know what I'm saying? But these same outlets that control that, these are Jewish owned or basically highly rich entities that own these platforms, and they project to us what's hot. We don't necessarily say what's hot. You know what I'm saying? We'll listen to some good ass music, some hard body music, but shit, we never still know about the artist, you know what I'm saying? So a great song doesn't determine what a hit record is, you know what I'm saying? It's about the commerce that was put behind it, about the investment behind that song. Because if it's on the radio, you knew bread was broken for that shit to be on the radio, you know what I'm talking about?
And man, radio and television, that's something else. They basically do a lot of controlling of the masses. Because just like you said, it's a group of people like, man, what are we going to get these sheep to follow next?
Hey, man,
and you can notice by like the trends that you see on TV and radio, like right now, I feel like they are forcing Megan Thee Stallion on me. Like, I cannot turn the radio on now. Don't get me wrong, she cool, you know what I'm saying? She slapping all that, but it's kind of like, man, there's so much more other music that you could be playing on the radio instead of Megan Thee Stallion and Drake. And I noticed that they always play that kind of music instead of, you know what I'm saying, some KRS-One or rappers. You happen to be a conscious rapper. Would you consider yourself a conscious rapper?
Yeah, of course. I'm definitely a conscious rapper. I'm also a revolutionary rap artist. You understand me? Yeah.
Where can we find some of your music?
Man, everywhere, you know what I'm saying? iTunes, Spotify, Tidal, YouTube, really wherever you listen to music. iHeartRadio, you know what I'm talking about?
Heck yeah, man. So if you want to check out Brotha SHAWT's music, man, look him up. Google, YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, just like you said. Brotha SHAWT.
Brotha SHAWT. That's BROTHASHAWT. And like the only platform I'm not on is Pandora. I think my music a little too black for him or something. Yeah.
Man, that's real. That's real, man. And you being a part of this Dallas 9 for protesting the shooting of O'Shea Terry and Bartham John. A lot of people think that you got arrested, you got out. Now that's that.
Oh, no, I'm still going to court for that shit. My court date is the 18th. I just found out my court date this month. So if y'all in the city, man, pull up Tarrant County Court, Criminal Court 9, you know what I'm saying? I need your support in the courtroom. You know what I'm talking about? October 18th, I'm gonna hit y'all with the time and stuff like that. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm still out on bond. You know what I'm saying? I was out there protesting last night, still out on bond from last year. You know that we got arrested last year for this shit. I think it was like September 17th or something like that. Still out on bond. LaDeja Lee, she was assaulted by Austin Sheffield and Deep Ellum. We went out there, Deep Ellum protested for her, still out on bond, finna fight with the skinheads because they disrespecting the elders and we not finna have that. So yeah, we still dealing with that, man, but we still going hard. What they want to do is make an example out of us. They want us to stop protesting. They want to basically deter people from protesting and using the Dallas 9 as the conduit or the catalyst to do that, to deter people. But no,
kind of like this is what's gonna happen to you if you protest the higher powers that be, basically.
Yeah. And we was at Jerry's Well right there. You know what I'm saying? And so two of the Dallas 9, Melissa Perry and Dion Williams, they had their court case like 2-3 weeks ago. They got guilty on all 5 counts. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And they
and what are the charges exactly? Like, y'all were out there peacefully protesting. Y'all didn't break any windows. Y'all didn't set anything on fire. Did y'all have like torches lit on fire, how they did in Charlottesville?
Nah, we ain't have all that.
So like, can you speak on like what the charges are, like where they came from, like?
Well, initially the charges were we had like 9 counts of obstructing highway or passageway. I guess like they feel like they couldn't really prove that, so they dropped those charges and they added a few impeding ambulance, interfering with officer duty or something like that, and trespass, like 4 counts of trespass or something like that.
Man, that's why impeding an ambulance. I bet wasn't one ambulance out there anyway.
I ain't seen. We got a lot of footage. I ain't see the ambulance, and then I say that really to keep it on the code, like I still got the footage, or whatever. I ain't even released it yet. I'm gonna wait till after my court day, but it's gonna show you that we wasn't the ones impeding the traffic. It was actually the police that was doing that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
And I wanted to release it, but they like, man, they might dismiss it in court if you release it or whatever. So I'm like, all right. But yeah, no.
Like, why would they dismiss it if that like can be used as evidence to be like, yo, like they're charging me with impeding an ambulance and impeding traffic, but if I have video to prove that I wasn't impeding anything, then that should be the end of that.
But I feel you, know. So I really feel like since Amber Guyger was guilty, I really need to drop our charges. You know what I'm talking about? Dismiss our case. She guilty. She was a murderer. We was justified. You know what I'm saying? Throw our shit out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Excuse my language.
Exactly. And she was, and that's what a lot of people are saying, like, oh, it was a tragic mistake. But at the end of the day, she murdered somebody. I kind of feel if Botham John was your son or your brother, you would feel differently about it.
Hey, man, that's why we got to feel like our brothers and our sisters are our brothers and our sisters. We not really connected to each other like that. You know what I'm saying? It's us versus them. Even understanding that our destinies are aligned. We live in the same city or the same country. We go through some of the same education, some of the same stuff. We watch some of the same programs, but we still don't feel connected to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Heck yeah, man.
We shop at the same store. You know what I mean?
And to be honest, I kind of feel like it's a lot of crookedness and corruption going on, because I feel like the Judge Tammy Kemp hugging her and praying over her, this and that, Mike Matta being an accomplice and not being charged with anything. I feel like some hands were shook, some hugs were given, and some deals were made.
That's exactly what happened.
We all knew, especially if you're like living in Dallas or in the area, you knew that if they let Amber Guyger walk, it was going to be some trouble. It was going to be some problems. It was going to be some riots in the streets. So I feel like Judge Tammy Kemp, Mike Matta, the police association, and the court people were all like, look, we got to give her a murder charge to appease the sheep, to appease these black people. But don't worry, Amber, we're going to take care of you. We'll give you a little manslaughter time, a little manslaughter sentence. Because now they're saying, she got 10, but she could get out after like 5 years. So I kind of feel like a deal was struck, and we need to call that out. How is somebody charged with murder but get time less than what I would get if I got caught with weed?
No, for a fact.
You
but
know?
Also, the social media is a fool. They came out and showed that Tammy Kemp was endorsed by the police association. She was endorsed by them. You feel me?
So she's one of them, basically.
Since she took money from them for their campaign. Oh, we endorsed, the Dallas Police Association endorses Tammy Kemp. But damn, you said Mike Matta is the president of that shit, right? Or excuse me, he's the president of that institution or whatever. So we understand that, they had this and behind the scenes, woo-de-woo, you know what I'm saying? And then for her to, I've never seen a judge show compassion like that towards anybody, especially a murderer. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, it was definitely some weird shit.
And if you're listening right now, Straightforward Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central in the Red Stream.
Hey, man.
I want to know, maybe you have more inside knowledge. When has a judge ever, after sentencing a murderer for a murder charge, get down from her bench and give them a hug? I've never seen that happen before. So
I'm still waiting.
I'm going to say it again, man. Christianity is a hell of a drug. And for everybody saying like, oh, we need to forgive them. It was a tragic accident. I'm going to bring up Officer Noor Muhammad again, who made a terrible mistake and was part of an accident when he accidentally shot and killed the white lady from Australia. This is what her father said. I will never be whole. I ask that this convicted murderer be given the maximum sentence for the crime of killing my daughter. Now, you see how he feels about people of color, and we saw how Amber Guyger felt about people of color.
Right.
She had no regard for black life. I even said that if Botham John was white, he'd still be alive today.
Not facts.
Yeah, so, we got to stop seeing black as a weapon, really. So, Brotha SHAWT, man, I appreciate you coming to the show, man. Dallas 9. You're in the news. You friends with Dominique Alexander?
Yeah, support that comrade. We was out there last night supporting his situation last night.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm trying to get him on the show too.
Hey man, I think he tuned in for a second. Yeah, I don't know if he's still watching, but he was watching.
Yeah. Man, that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So how you feel about the 10 years the Amber Guyger got? You feel like it should have been more, or it was what you expected?
Man, I really, I didn't have any expectations, but I obviously felt like she should have at least got 25 at the minimum. I was pushing for that 99, you know what I'm saying? I was speaking that into existence, even though I know that wasn't going to hit her like that. But it wasn't enough, you know. But I do feel like what you said, I feel like they gave her the charge, woo-de-woo, got us excited, waited the next day to say, hey, we're going to give her this minuscule time. But what they did was really stopped a very volatile situation. This is the same things like Micah X. Johnson was fighting for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is the same climate, the same atmosphere, the same type of shit that made a young brother by the name of Micah X go out and kill 5 Dallas police officers in 2017 or 16, whenever that was. He did that because of the brother that Alton Sterling, the brother.
Sterling.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So y'all are doing is creating these situations, and then most civilians, we don't really know how to let our frustration out. We don't know the chain of command to go up to, and then even then, if we do go up, they still don't care. They still play us like we don't care, or excuse me, like we're uneducated, we're uninformed, and we're not really going to stick this and campaign this out. We're going to be mad for a few minutes, then go on to the next thing. But so I really think that's what happened. But, so the officers that's on the streets, they're the ones who are going to basically, you know, have to take a lot of this frustration, you know what I'm saying, who have to absorb a lot of the frustration. Because we not on the street, we not going to their lieutenant or higher up or to the chief. Most people are going to direct their anger to the people that they see on the street, you know what I'm saying? So cops is in a bad situation because of the climate and the culture that y'all created by killing us with no, concern or remorse or nothing, you know what I'm saying?
And a lot of people are oblivious to why, you know, this tension is between the black community and police.
Shit.
And people are like, man, we back the blue. Police are here to protect and serve. They're heroes. Why do y'all hate cops? And I seen a quote, and it said, nobody ever made a song called F the Fire Department. Because the fire department doesn't wrong the black community. It's the cops coming at us. And if you look at the origination of the police force, you know,
say that.
slave patrol.
I'll go back to, you ain't going to say, oh, well, that's a cool slave catcher. Oh, I like that slave catcher. He's in my family. So, you know, we going to give him the pat. No, we ain't going to play that. You know what I'm saying? You call that what that is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you don't have to be a police officer to patrol your neighborhood or want to help people or serve your community. You don't have to sign that oath and pledge against your people. You know what I'm saying? Because we ain't doing it. And we patrol every night in Highland Hills. Every night, no fail in Highland Hills. And we ain't shot one bullet. When we could have took that brother's life because he endangered us and everybody that was around him. We could have did that, but we chose not to, you know what I'm saying? Without no $65,000 training or whatever it costs for the police academy. You understand me?
Yeah, man. So I kind of feel like if you're out there right now and you're saying we need to forgive, I agree with what Botham Jean's brother did by hugging Amber Guyger and his family saying we forgive you. Even Botham Jean's dad was like, yo, I hope we can be friends one day. Like, they took it that far. Now I feel like, okay, it's your life and you can do what you want,
right,
but you're on a stage setting an example right now, setting the tone for the rest of the nation to follow. You're sending a message to police like, hey, we're good. We ain't got to do nothing. Because I felt that, okay, if Amber Guyger gets charged with murder and she gets this hefty sentence, hopefully more crooked cops are going to be like, yo, they're catching on and we're actually getting sentenced now and sent to jail for this. So let's try and police better. But with this, they're like, oh, man, it's cool. We shoot and kill another black dude, kind of like Tupac said. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
Pull a trigger, kill it. He's a hero. Like, no, this Blue Lives Matter thing, back the blue, I kind of feel like that is provocative, antagonizing, and disrespectful.
It is.
You know, whenever Black Lives Matter came about, that was when a lot of the media started posting and publishing more video of us getting slaughtered and killed in the streets, to the point where we actually had to say, hey, our lives matter too. And then all these other opposing sides were like, but You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, man, we cannot help our oppressors to keep oppressing us. But I want to say, with the hug, I saw a rumor saying that in St. Lucia, it's some type of like voodoo thing where you have to like hug your enemy before the spell can take place.
Yeah.
Have you heard anything like that? Or?
I seen some people speculating on Facebook like, oh, he got a piece of her hair and he gonna put on that voodoo doll. I wish, I hope, please, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, like you said, Christianity is a hell of a drug, you know what I'm saying? And it even has our people across the continent, outside the continent, outside of America, man. They brainwash severely, you know what I'm saying? So that's just what that is, man.
Yeah. And I want to ask you because, you know what I'm saying, you seem like a very conscious person. You're very black community forward. You're at every protest. You know, you're at every event, this and that. When did that switch go off in you? Or were you always like this from the beginning of time? Like, were you always black power, black empowerment? Like, where did Brotha SHAWT get his start and why?
That's a good question. I was definitely not always like this. I was a regular person, you know what I'm saying? Or, a delinquent kid, you know what I'm saying? Used to get in trouble with the law, with the police and all types of stuff. I ain't really care about, black stuff and Afrocentric stuff. I didn't care about none of that. And I was a super strong Christian, but during college, I had a professor just kind of press me about just our ancestors in the 20s and their accomplishments, and I didn't know who W.E. Du Bois was, and people like that. She's like, oh, you don't know who this is, and she made it an issue. So then I became in studying or whatever, and then this was at college. I met a sister. I ain't gonna lie, man. I kind of got Erykah Badu by this one chick. You know what I'm saying? She knew a lot more than me, you know what I'm saying, on this culture. I knew a couple things, and she just definitely got me way more immersed in my culture.
You say you got Erykah Badu.
I got Erykah Badu.
People don't know,
a
lot of people say things like that because if you don't know, Common, for example, the rapper Common was one way, then dated Erykah Badu, and now he's Common. Same with Andre 3000.
That,
so Erykah Badu, she's magical.
That
she's
happened
amazing.
to me. You know what I'm saying?
You got Erykah Badu, and it kind of like made you more, conscious and opened your eyes a little bit more to the black empowerment movement.
Right. And definitely, and what got me down with activism and being boots on the ground was our comrade Rakim Balagoon when he spoke to me after my performance. You know what I'm talking about? And he got me around the GMF, the culture, and all that.
Yeah. And I want to send another shout out to Rakim Balagoon. If you're unfamiliar with him, after that little situation that happened in July of 2017, whenever the cops got killed, Rakim Balagoon was identified by the FBI as an extremist, a black identity extremist, the first one of its kind. Forget the KKK, forget the white supremacists, forget ISIS or whatever if they're real. Let's go after this one black man in Dallas who's trying to make black people smarter and stronger. That was kind of weird to me as well. Like, if you see a black man trying to make black people smarter and stronger and he gets sought out by the FBI.
Hey, it's real out here. And they said they've been investigating for 2 years. And they dropped all his charges, though. You know what I'm saying? Hey, this brother had to spend 6 months of his life in a federal institution, you know what I'm saying? And then to have it, which you already know they tried to get him to plea out, you know what I'm saying? If he took that plea, he would still not, you know what I'm saying? He would have never came home, you feel me?
And a plea is kind of like, I'm guilty, I admit it, and I'm going to give the punishment you give me.
Yeah. So shout out to the Conrad, man. He really needs some help to get out. I don't really know the details, but, but that's definitely the one of the brothers who got me immersed in this culture, this movement. Yeah,
man. That's real, man. Christianity is a hell of a drug.
Hey, man. It's like, can you pass me some of that Christianity?
Right. Like, man, they said the opioid epidemic or whatever it is going on, man. Ooh, what's your take on that? Because Dave Chappelle had that special and he said, whenever crack hit the black community, everybody was like, lock them up. Yeah. But now that drugs are affecting the white community, they're like, oh, we need mental health resources. Right. We need counseling. We need a bill to spend billions of dollars to help these white people.
Which is definitely, it's blatant, you know what I'm saying? We know what's happening, but I'll just say beyond that, outside looking in, it shows you how these other communities, they get together. You know what I'm saying? They don't bash each other. They don't meme each other. They still get together and politically organize with each other. You know what I'm saying? We ain't do that. We call each other crackheads, dope fiends, and laugh at each other. You know what I'm saying? And record each other while we sitting down, drooling, fucked off, messed up, you know what I'm saying, outside or whatever.
Yeah.
And so this is a spectacle. When we're in this situation, we make a spectacle of each other. But other communities, what they do is say, this is an epidemic. We need to do something. We need to get together and support each other. You know what I'm saying? So I would like the black community at large, or at least the black folks that love to be black and love their black counterparts, to say, hey, you know what? Mental illness is real. We need to do something about that instead of making fun of each other. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's an extension of that Willie Lynch letter. You know what I'm saying? Where we pin each other, we go against each other. You feel me? When we see these other communities, they get together and do what they need to do for each other.
And speaking of like other communities coming together, the Asian community, like I don't want to say they are an enemy to the black community, but they are a huge enemy and a threat to the black community. You see how they feel about us. We've seen we've seen examples and evidence of how the Asian community feels about black women, especially black people, especially black women. So why do you think black women won't stop going to these Asian-owned beauty supply stores? I have personally known women trying to get into the beauty supply industry and the hair industry. They have been threatened, intimidated, and harassed by people of the Asian community because the Asian community is trying to hold on to this monopoly. They know it's big business in the hair care industry, and they won't let us get a piece of it, of our community. They'll make millions and billions of dollars off of our people buying their products, but whenever we try to be our own owners, we're getting threatened, we're getting harassed, we're getting intimidated. You know, our lives are in danger. So why do you think black women won't stop going to these Asian-owned beauty supply stores? Because I feel like that is a huge problem.
Hey, man, I feel like it's a part of the lack of respect for self, for one, lack of respect of your sisters and brothers, for two, and then, man, I don't know, man. That shit is unfortunate. Like, how could you keep going there and knowing? But these are still, I feel like these same people that we talking about aren't black women who are into black, the black empowerment movement. They're not those people. They're not those, and they're probably just regular, everyday consumers. You know what I'm saying? They don't think anything about black power or nothing like that. So we gotta kind of like identify these characters in these communities, and then when we do that, we will see that the black community is not like some homogenous one entity. You know what I'm saying? It's actually different tribes and elements and all that create the black community. And so on the left side you might have black people who are into supporting black businesses, but on the right side you got some black people that say, man, I'll never shop at a black business if they don't give me that same quality and experience that this super high-end other own entity it gives me. But it's like, well, damn, like, don't I gotta get there first? You know what I'm saying? Don't we gotta whatever? But so I feel like it's just we just gotta kind of stop generalizing. We gotta identify the different pockets and elements of black culture and the black communities within the black community.
Heck yeah, man. So what do you think? I know we don't have all the answers because we're just two men, but what do you think will help spark that change to get more people into this part of the black community, the black empowerment part of the black community?
Right. Well, unfortunately, a lot of these murders and these situations where our brothers and sisters are killed by the police, it's a very unfortunate situation. But out of negatives, positives tend to come out. You know what I'm saying? And that's being able to meet some of these soldiers on the ground at these protests and kind of start building that dialogue with people that you never knew before or seen before, but y'all have this common interest and y'all are here, y'all met on a common purpose. You know what I'm saying? So I think all these situations, but also it just takes people like, you know what I'm saying, about pushing that message, like me, like other artists out here, that every time we can, we building with somebody. Black media, own media, you know what I'm saying? We got to keep disseminating this information, because as long as we keep getting caught up in this entertainment, this love and hip hop, this sports, this versus Saints versus Cowboys and all that. As long as we keep our attention and our energy caught up in that, we gonna keep lacking. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, man, just keep building. We have a responsibility for everybody who's about this way of living, this lifestyle, this empowerment, this movement, whatever you call it. You have the responsibility to teach everybody that comes into your vicinity, because if not, it's your fault. They didn't hear about this because you didn't present it to them. So I just feel like everybody knowing their role and taking up extra responsibility to educate somebody in your environment.
Man, that's what's up. That's real. And I'm glad that you brought up, us being consumed with sports.
Hey, man.
Because one of the most recent headlines in the sports thing was Jay-Z signing this partnership, this agreement with the NFL.
Hey, let's talk about it.
I was one of them people like, man, Jay-Z's a sellout. How dare you stop other black artists for performing at the Super Bowl halftime show and other NFL halftime shows, and then you go undercut everybody and make a partnership with the NFL who blackballed Colin Kaepernick, and you were so pro Colin Kaepernick, all about his movement, this and that. And then once Roger Goodell was like, oh, you're stopping us from making black dollars, how about we make you a partner? I said Jay-Z's a sellout. He did it as a money move. He doesn't represent the people, and he's not for the people. And there was a lot of people saying like, oh man, he needed to infiltrate, to make his mark and open the door for other whoop-de-woo. He's part of the musical agenda thing or whatever. I just want to tell y'all, all you naysayers out there who was like, oh, we're for Jay-Z, this and that, did you see who he has performing at the Super Bowl halftime show? It's not a black person. It's not a black artist. It's Jennifer Lopez. Jennifer Lopez.
Hey, man, this is what I want to say about Jay-Z and this NFL whatever. We have a situation, the Dallas 9 has a situation directly tied to the NFL and directly tied to injustice. We were protesting right over there at the Cowboy Stadium, and we being inflicted by Jerry Jones. So since whoever can get this out to Jay-Z, tell him he on the clock. Dallas 9 needs him to do something, because we got to injustice directly deal with NFL and police injustice, you understand me? Yeah. And we ain't heard from bro since, and our stuff has been going on, so we should have been one of the first cases he took. And it's in the news, it's in the headlines, you know what I'm saying? And he was lying to us and manipulating us by the mass, talking about, we protested, but now this is the next step. I'm opening the door so other black people can, get made aware, and we can spread awareness, this and that. So the first thing he does was give Meek Mill a concert, which, shout out to Meek Mill, he's cool. Right. But then after that, you book Meghan Trainor and Jennifer Lopez. What have they done for the black community? I remember they came out with some shirts and merchandise too. You know what I'm saying? Man, yeah. That ain't finna do nothing. Talking about this is gonna fund the movement. Looking like, bro, y'all are billionaires, and y'all still need our help. That's something else I don't agree with. Like whenever the Hurricane Harvey thing happened, that was a travesty. A lot of people lost their loved ones. Yeah. But why, when that happened, it was like the rich people were asking the poor and middle class to help the poor and middle class when they could help everybody. Hey man, shout out Trey the Truth, you know what I'm saying? That's a real soldier, boots on the ground. He out there saving people during the Hurricane Harvey situation. I was out there during Hurricane Harvey with Conrad, Rakim Balagoon, Olu, other comrades, Kent too from Black Empowerment Movement, man. We was in the trenches, Hurricane Harvey, helping our people, helping our sisters, the queens out there. So, it really don't take all that money to do stuff. It take heart, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people coming at us like, hey man, y'all know y'all can get paid off of what y'all doing, y'all can make money off of what y'all doing, but we really like, you know what I'm saying, we at the grassroots level with this. So we know the people who come in and put in work, they not here because they trying to get a check off of us, because they know we don't got no check, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. We just got work and programs and stuff for you to do. But at the same time, you seen how the cathedral or something burnt down or something like that. Yeah. I forgot what that was, man. It was some it was building. A cathedral over there in like the UK. Boom. England, they raised billions of dollars for that. You know what I'm saying? But the Amazon start burning down. Where's the money? Where's the people talking about that? You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like we got to get an understanding of capitalism and what capitalism is. When we understand what capitalism is and its implication, how it's utilized in the society and globally, then we kind of have a better way to place things and say, oh, okay, so Jay-Z is just a black capitalist. All he's gonna do niggas capitalize off of whatever move he can make. This ain't about no movement. This ain't about the people. This ain't about none of that. It's about capitalism. And then he's in cahoots with other capitalists. That's
He's a rich guy trying to stay rich and trying to stay rich.
Straight like that.
Yeah, man.
And unfortunately, a lot of people like that, they get rich and maintain their wealth off of the backs of oppressed people. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of you are furthering oppression and you know, of everybody at this time and age. Even our shirts, where we get our shirts, is from sweatshops in India. You know what I'm saying? These people living in crazy, horrendous conditions. You know what I'm saying? Off in Bangladesh, they had these factories where we get our T-shirts
getting
from.
Paid 3 cents an hour.
3 cents an hour, and these facilities that they in are not created by a proper standard. So they had many situations where these whole buildings and collapse on people while they were working. You feel me? And these people died, excuse me, you know what I'm saying? So that stuff like that is dear to my heart, you feel me? And because, man, this is everywhere, though. This ain't just right here in America. This is literally everywhere. But I feel like the world is still watching black people in America, seeing what we gonna do and how we gonna get down.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Heck yeah, man. So you, Brotha SHAWT, part of the Dallas 9,
hey, man,
well-known Dallas activist,
man.
What do you think is next for us, and what's next for you? Where can we, find you making another move at for the people?
Hey, well, look, specifically, if you want to meet up in Highland Hills around 10 p.m., we will be patrolling tonight, you know what I'm saying, in the Greens every night, you feel me? That's what's immediately up next. But also, what we do in our apartment complex, we don't just patrol, you know what I'm saying? We don't just patrol with arms. We also feed the community. So this past Sunday, we just fed everybody in the whole apartment complex. We fed the whole hood. I'm talking about from the babies to the elderly to everybody. We also cleaned up the whole outside perimeter of the complex, even the vacant apartments. We went inside and cleaned those up. And we doing this to boost the morale of the community. It's like, how could you really walk outside your neighborhood, see all this filth, and be like, dang, I'm motivated to live my best life or be the most productive me I can be. You know what I'm saying? So what we did was we went in and said, hey, we live in the hood. We live in the slums, but, we don't have to be afflicted by these conditions. We see that trash, but we can pick it up. You know what I'm saying? We don't have to complain about it. So that's why we did that. But other than that, man, we also have a community garden. You know what I'm saying? That's less than a mile. This is the Shirley B. Russell Community Garden, which we plan to feed everybody in the community as well. And so we'll be out there this weekend. If y'all want to get dirty with me, holla at your brother. Holla at Brotha SHAWT on Instagram. DM me. That's the major project is the community garden. And community gardens is actually a very, very, very revolutionary act, because you are directly going up against the power structure who controls, who puts chemicals in the foods, and thus they can influence your behavior through these chemicals that's in your food and control your lifespan, or at least shortening your lifespan. You feel me? But so we're saying, hey, no, we ain't depending on your trucking industry to bring all this produce over from we don't know
all
where
this poisoned produce.
Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Into our communities. You feel me? We gonna say no. We ain't gonna depend on We're gonna depend on our blood, sweat, and our work ethic to feed us. You know what I'm saying? So, but other than that, man, catch us every weekend, or holla at me on Facebook, Davante D Peters. That's DAVANTE D as in David Peters. And I post all my events and stuff, regularly on my social media. If y'all want to follow up.
That's what's up, man. That's Brotha SHAWT right here on Straightforward with Strip. I want to say again, man, to everybody saying we need to forgive our oppressors. We need to move on. I want to say after 9/11, George Bush didn't say let's forgive Osama bin Laden and let's forgive Al-Qaeda. Whenever ISIS started becoming a problem, I don't remember Donald Trump saying let's forgive ISIS. Whenever the crack hit the black community, I don't remember them forgiving black crack users. Whenever marijuana started making a rise, I don't remember America forgiving black marijuana smokers. We aren't ever forgiven. So why must we forgive them? Shout out to Brotha SHAWT, man. I appreciate you come to the studio. This is Straightforward Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central in the Red Stream. Catch me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at YoungStrip702, or check out the channel on YouTube. If you're watching it right now on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell. Let's go ahead and get the movement out. Let's go ahead and spread awareness. Brotha SHAWT, you got any closing remarks, man? Where can people find you again? And if people want to help you with the community garden and the project in Highland Hills, how can we get in contact with you?
Oh, definitely. So look, Facebook is a very effective platform to reach out to me on. Davante D Peters. Please spell my name right. That's DAVANTE D Peters, you know what I'm saying? Also Instagram at Brotha SHAWT, BROTHA SHAWT. It's the same name on YouTube, Twitter, all that good stuff. But please reach out to me. I even drop my number in this thing, 214-710-5772. If you really about that, please don't hit me with no weird stuff, because we need soldiers in the streets. We need soldiers. Your place might not be protesting. Your place might not be at City Hall. You might be more comfortable in a garden, or you might not. You might be more comfortable passing out food and stuff like, and sandwiches to those that are hungry. So wherever you need, man, we are the community engagement specialists. We are community engagement activists. We are training activists to be a part of influential catalysts for changes in that community. So if you want this training, please holler at myself or Marcus X Russell on Facebook, or Yafeo Balagon, man. We're going to get you this training. We're going to get you acclimated for you to be a catalyst for change, a community engagement activist in your community. But yeah, furthermore, man, I appreciate you, Young Strip, to bringing me on that straightforward, keeping it straightforward, you know what I'm saying, for the family out there. And hey, if your plug sells a little bit of that Christianity, let me get an A to that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You feel me? But anyway, man, we out this thing, you did.
That's what's up, man. Straightforward with Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central in the Red Stream. That's FBRN.US. Click on the Red Stream. I want to go ahead and give a quick shout out to my advertisers. That's Brown Sugar Apothecary on Instagram and Facebook. That's Brown Sugar Apothecary. All your natural handmade oils, creams, and remedies for your beauty, body, and mind. Support black-owned businesses. Also, ladies, if you're looking for the inches, holla at Lola Faye Extensions. If you need anything from the bundles or hair care products, holla at Lola Faye Extensions. They're not owned by mean Asians that hate you and just want your money. She is an awesome black woman running her business and has upstanding customer service. And another shout out to First In Moving Company. That's First-In Moving Company on Facebook, or you can reach them at 214-458-5800, and that's First_In_Moving on Instagram. If you're trying to move anything from a bicycle tire to an entire 8-bedroom house, holla at First In Moving Company to get you there and get it done efficiently, effectively, and without any negativity. That's Straightforward with Strip every Thursday at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. I want to give another shout out to my guest, Brotha SHAWT, part of the Dallas 9 protesters, illegally arrested, and now he's still facing, the repercussions of this case, of the trumped up charges they tried to throw at him and the other 8 protesters after Botham Jean was wrongfully murdered and O'Shea Terry was wrongfully murdered. Straightforward Strip every Thursday at 3. Subscribe to the channel. Holla at your boy.
Peace, man.